So in this video, I'll explain how you can flip a property, things what you should look for in buying a home and flipping them, and potential things you can do, and also a cost estimate of what everything really costs, and how long the process takes and things of that nature. So let's go in and we'll look at everything together. So in another video, we talked about zoning designations and the zoning codes within the city. So if you haven't looked at that video, just click at the top right corner. But basically what the video said was that you have to look at the zoning designations for each property. This property has a zoning named R2, or residential density 2. So what you can do is you can build a semi-detached building here or make a duplex out of this property. Here, but once you looked at those zoning designations, then it's a good idea of what you like to do, because a lot of times you are trying to, I guess, take advantage of the zonings, but a lot of times that's not even possible. So once you did look at the zonings, then you can come up with a plan of what to do. Right now, we'll just go look at the property. We'll look at the exterior. We'll look to see if there is any foundation issues with the property, so you can get a better idea of what to do. But that should be your first step. Usually foundation issues are the most costly expense, but you never know what you can come across, any leakages, anything like that, so you want to be absolutely certain. If you're a beginner in this, you probably want to get an inspector to come in and inspect the property. It does have a cost to it, but it gives you that peace of mind if you're not really sure what you're doing. So over here you can see that the property has structural issues. They've I guess parged it a little bit, and the bricks are settling down a bit. You can also see that it started from here a bit, and you can see that really there is a line, and then the house settled in a bit. And you can see also there that a little bit of bricks started falling out. So we definitely do need some work here in terms of like foundation problems and whatnot that we need to fix. Other than that, it's a good idea to walk the property, and you just want to, if you have a brick house, you can't really see it if there's vinyl, but if there are bricks on the house, like, you can see pretty easily if there are any foundation issues. But if you have vinyl, you probably will want to look at the concrete of the house, and you want to see if there's any major cracks. Any small little cracks, those are usually not a problem, but anything like a big crack, that should do it. And then you want to walk through the house and walk through the property to see if there are any major damages and whatnot. So far there's nothing on this side that we can see. This just seems like a piece of paint here, so everything here looks good. They might have fixed it prior to us visiting the property. So as I mentioned before, you just want to probably see if there's any damages here. See, like things like that, you probably want to take a note of. It doesn't seem like it's a big issue, but if the house is settling on that side, you probably want to take a closer look, especially in the basement. Here it doesn't seem like you have any issues as well. These ones here, these cracks here, are pretty normal, so nothing to be alarmed of. A lot of times sellers try to hide stuff by putting like a piece of wood or whatever the case may be there to hide certain cracks or certain things. So I always want to make sure that you look at everything. But you can see definitely here that you have some issues, and there's a crack here. So just make a note of that, especially if you're flipping a property. So you want to make sure that you look at all the costs and all the numbers before you jump into it. Here you can see that everything's falling apart. It's just things to note of. But like I said, if you're a beginner, you probably want to get an inspector to come in. And everything looks good on this side as well, so we'll go on in the inside. So on this property, you can see clearly that you need new flooring, you need new kitchen here. You know, you probably want to rip out all these and then paint over them, or not paint over them. You can't really do that, but you want to get rid of the wallpaper here and get rid of the glue. So all of these things cost money. You know, for flooring, you're looking at $5 to $6 a square foot if you're doing really high-end hardwood. That includes installation. Kitchens depends on if you're going with IKEA kitchens or not, but kitchens usually range from $6,000 to $7,000. Again, depends on what countertops you're using and whatnot. When you're walking through the property, you want to see if there are any, like, you know, I guess slopes or anything like that. It's probably hard to tell, but this house has a big slope because of the foundation issues that it has, you know. And then you have a washroom here that you probably want to update. You know, you have a tub, you have the vanity, the toilet, tiling here. I'd probably leave the tiling over here just to, you know, save some money. But you want to definitely update everything inside. And washrooms range from $10,000 to $15,000 depending on how you want it to be. If it's really nice, you know, you're looking at probably the high-end washrooms. So we go in this room as well. So, you know, again, here you definitely see a slope. If I were to put something on the ground, you would see it really, I guess, roll over all the way to the end there. There's nothing to see. It's just, you know, visible sign of damage, cracks on the wall, things like that really indicate foundation issues. When you're flipping a house, you want to make sure that the doors and the stairs are on the side. If you have an additional door, that's just a sign of cha-ching. Because here you can block it off and make another unit downstairs, meaning in the basement. So we'll go look at that later on. But ideally, if the house has stairs towards the basement, you want to know where the location of that is. If it's in the middle of the house, it's pretty tough to renovate it because you can't really make an open concept layout. But if you have stairs on the side of the house, wherever it may be, that means you can probably make a big, nice open concept without any, like, you know, blockages from the stairs and whatnot, unless you're doing really high-end stairs with glass. But, you know, that likely won't happen because you're trying to flip and you're trying to make some money on it and move on to the next project. So let's go to the basement. So you have a door here. You want to block it off from this side so that tenants from the side can come downstairs. It's really important that you look at the zonings in a particular area because you want to make sure that your city allows it and you do everything legally, and, you know, there's no hassles down the road. There are a lot of people that do it legally, but I wouldn't recommend it because at the end of the day, you want to show all the documents to the bank and refinance the property if you do have 2 units in there. So let's go downstairs. Once you do come in the basement, if you are making it into another unit, you want to make sure that it has washrooms. When you have washrooms in the basement, that's an indication that, you know, you don't have to do plumbing, you probably don't have to do as much electrical work. But with that being said, you know, a washroom can really bring down your cost of flipping a property, or bring down the cost of you know, if you're trying to make it into 2 units and rent both the units out. So those are all things you can look for. We do have a little bar here that we're trying to get rid of for sure. And then over there we have the washroom. So this washroom, you know, there's a good indication that, you know, you have everything here. You don't have a shower, but you have all the plumbing lines, all the electrical lines here. So you don't need to do much. Again, once you're inside of the property, you probably want to look at all the cracks in the foundation and, you know, like visible mold damage or anything like that, really. So just be aware, you know. And then you can also look at leakages. Like here, you can definitely tell that something happened here. We don't know what, but, you know, you definitely need to take a closer look. Here, there you have, you have some issues there, so you want to take note of that. Anything structural costs money, and not little money, but a lot of money. So you want to look at those. Furnaces, they have a piece of paper here and it shows you the year they installed it or tested it. So in this case it's 2012. Furnaces, cost anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000, depends on how strong you want them to be. This one is a good Goodman furnace, so we don't have any issues in regards to the furnace. So we'll just keep this as is as well. And then you have a water tank as well, so you want to check the dates for those. Let's see here. There's no date here, but it's probably owned. So yeah, no dates on it. Maybe there's something else, but who knows. Nonetheless, seems like a healthy tank, so we'll just leave it as is. This was for the good old oil furnaces. So you want to, I guess, it's just old. But not that this house is an oil furnace, but they replaced them a long time ago. But then here you can see a visible crack as well. So you want to take note of that. And ideally you want to walk through the property. You have like a big slope here, and foundation issues, like you definitely need to look at those and fix those. And so again, I usually go over the numbers with all the properties that we have in these videos. So this property needs flooring, it needs a new kitchen, it needs 2 new washrooms, it needs framing in the basement to make it into 2 separate units. We need to do some cosmetic updating in each room, closets. The furnace doesn't need any work, thankfully, but we do have the roof that we need to replace. So all in all, we're looking at $80,000. We bought this house off market, but we bought it for a really low price. So this allows us to have a big leeway and be flexible with regards to fixing it, and also filling it up with tenants and appraising the property. And then hopefully down the road we'll move on to the next project and refinance this project, as I mentioned before. Like I said, all in all, we're looking at $60,000 to $80,000. We bought it for $380,000, so we're looking at $450,000 to $470,000. And then once it's appraised, then we have $500,000 or $550,000. We pull out the money from this property by way of refinancing it, and we'll move on to the next project.